were they like? What? The vibes in Sweden, I have to know. They were irreplaceable. Undeniable! You wish you could go back? Oh, those games, they were a long time ago now. That win against Minnesota was less than a week ago. A faint, distant memory. Let's go! Good. We all feel good. Stop! Never gets rusty! What am I doing? Into my kitchen! Producer Drew, can you fix all this? And when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, you can crumple, yeet! Saw that going differently. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Leafs lose 3-2 to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a loss that honestly might be good for them because we need to talk. Listen, it's one thing when you turn a corner, right? It's one thing when you have some problems, you figure out the problems, and then those problems stay figured out. The Leafs win their 2 games heading into Sweden, and you go, They win the 2 games in Sweden, you go, They come back from Sweden, immediately blow a 3-1 lead to the Chicago Blackhawks and lose in overtime. And on the second half of a back-to-back, you get caved by the Pittsburgh Penguins, again blowing a lead because you sort of stopped trying in the middle of a game. Very literally, and we can prove it. And you might watch this, you might be a member of the Leafs organization and watch this and go, that's a joke, we tried the whole time. Well, then I have even worse news for you. You tried and got outplayed to oblivion. Like, dude, the way the game started, pond hockey, right? Pond hockey. It's great. You got Kyle Dubas' first matchup against Brad Treliving when Dubas is the GM or whatever, all the titles that he has in Pittsburgh, and Treliving is the GM in Toronto. And the teams were sure to give them a game that neither of them would like, right out of the gate. Big Bert, Tyler Bertuzzi, I tell you what, everything I said, meant it at the time, now's the future, take it all back. All of it back. He was the best Leaf on the ice. The best Leaf on the ice, straight up the best Leaf on the ice. And I tell you what, he began the season on the top line, and he's on it right now as well. You mean he's playing with Marner and Matthews? Nope. And that's the way that line is going to score goals, and that is the way you need to score goals in the playoffs. Riley puts it on, JT with the tip, and the rebound, Bertuzzi, because he's right there. 2 guys, always right there. Naturally, the Leafs allow the Penguins to tie it up like 30 seconds later. Jake Gensel. You want to see the most wide open person in the face of the earth? In the face of history on the earth? Look at, what? How? Like, does this come up in the video session, or do you just save the budget and use a picture? Print it out and like scotch tape it to the wall. Scotch tape it to every player on the ice's locker. Look at this. Ew, yuck, boo. Ew, yuck, and boo. The Leafs this season do not score first often. When they do, they always give up the game-tying goal like that, and there it is. But only a few minutes later, Matthew Knies comes up big. There it is. There's the first line. I told you. They're back. Marner puts it on. Rebound, and Knies knocks it in. Wait, what? What? Oh, well, he's right-handed. His number starts with what? Oh, that's Yarncroke. Oh, that was Yarncroke? Was it a weird line change? It was probably a weird line change. Oh, okay. Well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The Leafs take the 2-1 lead. And that's how they go into intermission. And you know what? Joseph Woll, incredibly valuable in that first period. It was fire wagon hockey, and the Leafs had the better goalie in the first period. Shots were 18-15 in favor of the Penguins. Neither coach is probably happy with that defensive performance. It's brutal from the Leafs, brutal from the Penguins. Both teams on pace for infinity shots. Then the second period happened, and the Leafs developed a passing allergy that if a puck was sent from one stick to another stick, tape to tape, I think the entire line would have gone into anaphylactic shock. And as a result, a Pittsburgh Penguin got an open shot, and there was just this much daylight, and the puck went into that daylight. They tie it up 2-2. And who was it? I'll give you 2 guesses! 2 guesses, but it shouldn't take you more than one. The only reason it should take you more than one is if you guessed Radim Zohorna. You guessed it, Noel Acciari. Kyle took him with him, and Jason Spezza. Earlier this summer, Kyle Dubas was like, hey, me, do you think it's a good idea to get this guy that we just got, but for the other team? Yes, I do, me. Oh, that's a great discussion, me. And then he gave me a promotion! And the Penguins were outplaying the Leafs in the second. Outplaying them, but it wasn't by a massive margin. The final 6, 7, 8 minutes of the second period, oof, Maroon! The Leafs very, very obviously, first line especially, I'm calling them right out. First line especially, the Leafs were playing for the intermission. With minutes left in the What are you doing? It's tied, first of all. Like, when they weren't getting hemmed in, they were just throwing the puck down the ice, and the Penguins were like, thanks, this is the thing we need, actually. And they just brought it back to the Leaf zone and almost scored. And then with 28 seconds to go in the period, the Bane backbreaker, Erik Karlsson scores. It's a nice shot. How does that nice shot go in? It's Noel Acciari in front. He didn't get the goal, but he got the Daryl Boyce assist where he never actually touched it. It's just a screen. And this is the part where you go, Steve, the Leafs outshot the Penguins 12-3 in the third period. They were the better team. No, they weren't. No. The Pittsburgh Penguins, like, Penguins fans, I'm not trying to be salty. You know, you've seen the standings. They're not a great team this year. They haven't been playing like it anyway. I believe in them a little bit more than they've been playing, but they're not the greatest. That's score effects. How could you possibly be encouraged by that third period? This is what they always do. The Leafs have so much experience in comebacks because they're always friggin' behind. Always behind. They outshot the Penguins 12-3. The Penguins fully parked the bus. But, like, sometimes the bus wins, man. You can't come back in every single game. And they didn't. And they weren't able to. Would have been nice to get an extra power play. There was this. Look at this. Look at that. This Marcus Pettersson. I think he got high stick right before this, to be fair. But that's a headlock. He looks like he's about to give Tyler Bertuzzi the crossroads at WrestleMania. What is this? Like, all right, I missed a call. Do whatever you want. It's fine. It's fine. Like, I love old school hockey heads, like when there are a bunch of penalties in a game and they got all upset. Like, this is what we're selling? This is the product that we're selling? That's the product that you're selling. When you don't call penalties, that's the product that you're selling. Headlocks is fine. It's fine. What a friggin'... Anyway, it's not the reason that the Leafs lost. They lost because they were bad, but... What is this? What is this? Full marks to Tristan Jarry. He stood on his head. The first line, much maligned, and I'm about to carve him, looked better in the third period. Like, who cares? Dude, I don't think Matthews had a shot on goal in the first period. He ended the game with 4, so he obviously got them done. He had some scoring chances. You don't get to pull off a miracle every game. And here's where we're going to have a chat, all right? The Blue Jackets. Think about the Columbus Blue Jackets, right? They're, first of all, a team that they're rebuilding. They're awful, right? They've invested to be less awful, and all the guys that they've invested in, almost all of them, have been awful. Laine, he had a good game the other night, been awful. Johnny Gaudreau, been awful. Can't stop a beach ball. They've been bad. They've been really bad. They're rebuilding. They're on their way up. They're not nearly as on their way up as they should be, but they've been awful. Come here. The Leafs have the same amount of regulation wins as them. The Leafs have 5 wins in 19 games this season in regulation. One of them was in Sweden against the Detroit Red Wings, who were on the second half of a back-to-back. So the Leafs are undefeated against, they had to come back from a 2-0 deficit in that game, by the way. So the Leafs are undefeated against exhausted teams in Europe. So if every game for the rest of the regular season can be like that, I think they're fine. They're going to be good. Like, if the Sweden games were the turning of the tide, that would have been great. They're not. Here they are. Right where we left them. Right before they left. This is what the Toronto Maple Leafs are. It is, at the time I'm shooting this, it's just about to be November 26th. And we're about a quarter of the way through the season. This is the team. This is the team. This is where you have to start making decisions before, like, the Christmas roster freeze. This is the team. They can't defend. They get saved sometimes. Like, the goaltending, I think, has been adequate-ish, right? Depending on who's in net. Sammy's had some good, some unusable. Wolves had some elite and some meh. Their second line's their best line. Okay, you know what? No, I need someone a little more level-headed right now because I'm going to go on a rant. I'm going to go on a rant. And I need to get ready for that rant. Do my breathing exercises. So, before that, here's Nick Barden with Marley Minute to talk about what's going on with the Marlies, man.
Nick Abruzzese is one of the Maple Leafs' most fascinating prospects, and there are a number of reasons why. The first reason being he's an incredible playmaker for the Marlies. Playing primarily with Alex Steeves and Dylan Gambrell this season, Abruzzese has put up 12 points in 16 games, and 9 of those points have come at 5-on-5. Steeves calls Abruzzese a super cerebral player. Marlies head coach John Gruden calls him a playmaker because that's what he is. He's a guy who can find his teammates anywhere on the ice to get them the puck. Where I found his game has really improved is in the defensive end. Playing with Logan Shaw last season, it allowed Abruzzese to find his footing in the pro game that is the AHL. And now playing with guys like Steeves and Gambrell, Abruzzese is starting to find his really strong play at both the offensive and defensive ends of the rink. One of the other things that really has stood out about Abruzzese is his stick play, whether it's in the defensive end, using his stick to lift other opponents' sticks, take the puck, go the other way, whether it's cutting off passes, Abruzzese is there to do that. And then in the offensive end, I really find when he's trying to make a pass, he's able to use his stick and primarily his stick blade to be able to feather it through players' sticks or through their bodies when that opponent is right on top of them. And by doing that, he's still able to get that pass through to the teammate that he's looking for out in the offensive end. And although Abruzzese is a little bit lower on the list of call-ups to the Maple Leafs, I will say that he's putting in a strong start to the season, which could warrant a call-up in the near future.
By the way, I should probably mention Nick Barden has his own YouTube channel as well. Nick Barden. Barden is spelled B-A-R-D-E-N. Go check him out. Go subscribe. I like him. And follow him on Twitter or whatever the hell that site's called too. I'm going to read you a few quotes because I think this is really important. This was Sheldon Keefe talking about Mitch Marner after the Leafs lost to Chicago. So it was before this game against Pittsburgh. From Jonas Siegel, Sheldon Keefe on Mitch Marner's recent performance. Just not executing at the level that you'd expect from Mitch. At times, he's had it. I thought after being challenged after the second period last night, that line, and Mitch in particular, had a better third period and showed some positive signs. But no doubt, Mitch hasn't found his groove here yet. Damn it if Mitch didn't do the exact same thing in this one. Second period was awful. Hey, there they are in the third period. That's the team. That's the team in a nutshell. And he's a huge part of the team. We know what he's capable of. Oh my God, I'm so sick. Every time we have to talk about Mitch Marner, we got to go, I know what he's capable of. He was a Selke nominee last year. He makes $11 billion. He's already got 20 points. I know! That's what the money is for! Mad Men style! He's paid like a star! Man! You need your star players to be stars. And tonight, and consistently over the last few weeks, he's been the Leafs' second best right winger. It's an untenable situation. So here's what Sheldon Keefe had to say after this loss to Pittsburgh. Asked if he sees any frustration in Marner, Coach Sheldon Keefe points out that Mitch leads the Leafs in 5-on-5 points this season despite facing the toughest matchup every night. We'll stay building our group and building our game, but let's not pile on the negatives here. He's managing again. Like, how many times have we seen... Like, I know this is part of the gig for Keefe, but how many times have we seen him say something about Mitch and then walk it back? Like, didn't that happen during the Canada season? It was Austin, too. It's not just Mitch. This isn't just a Mitch pile-on here. But, like, I think where that question comes from with Mark Masters is Mitch was miserable, visibly miserable all game. And, like, yelling at his teammates. I think it was in the second period or sometime in the third period. I saw it. And it's just such a difference between like the unbelievably immaculate vibes you saw at the end of Sweden. And why wouldn't you have that? You had a Disney ending to all that. And then you come home and the vibes with Mitch are cataclysmic. They're so bad. He is so very outwardly and obviously not having a good time right now. And we need puppy Mitch. Like, we need puppy mode Mitch. That guy is the best in the league. He had a scoring chance in this one. There was a backhander out of nowhere. Like, yeah, that's crafty. We need that. All the time, every shift. Dude, Matthews is going to be the highest paid player in the league next year. Marner's still going to be making just a hair under $11 million. That's got to be automatic. It's got to be automatic. And what do? You take Nyes, who played well and is tied for second in rookie goal scoring. Are you going to take him off that line and throw who there? Robertson? Oh, I mean, I think Robertson's been okay. Like, I don't think he's earned that kind of promotion. Do you take Bertuzzi off the second line to try to fix the first line? But then you're wrecking the second line. The second line's been their best. Their best. What do you do other than play the top line less and play the second line more? Which Keefe did, by the way. From Chris Johnston, on the back half of a back-to-back, William Nylander played 2 minutes more than any of his 539 previous NHL games, seeing 26 minutes and 10 seconds during tonight's loss in Pittsburgh. And again, it's not like Marner was out there doing nothing. He played over 23 minutes, and this has been him for basically his entire career, but right now, he is the second best right winger on the team, and until William Nylander signs an extension, he is not compensated like that. And by the way, what the heck are they going to do? Like, what happens if you get to the offseason or you play enough games and you discover that your best right winger is expiring and your second best one still makes double digit? Like, do you see what a problem this is? Here, let's get to questions. I saw a couple, like, good ones in comments. Hunter says, I'm not saying they'll do it, but do you think Shanahan and Treliving have had conversations about the coaching situation? Just like in Edmonton, I don't think it's fair to give a coach a situation that's just not that great. Like, if you put a Jack Adams winner in there, I don't think it's going to be that great. Yes, you have the Stars up there. They're not playing like it. The D-Corps, I think, is terrible, and you're getting maybe league average saves. I know it's MLSE, and we don't have to care about their money. I don't. But I think they care about their money, and Sheldon Keefe's 2-year extension kicks in next year. I just really highly doubt they're going to fire the guy unless it goes completely off the rails. Right now, they're not off the rails. It's easy to make a decision in off the rails. Right now, they're mid. And I don't know what firing Sheldon Keefe is going to do tactically. It is a vibes problem right now. It's a confidence problem. It's an attitude problem. It's a general joy for the sport problem right now. And not a question, but man, does tonight really leave me curious as to what would have happened last summer if Dubas had won the power struggle. What with Marner's performance coupled with 2 of Dubas's guys scoring against the Leafs. I mean, go back and watch that Kyle Dubas press conference. First of all, it makes me very mad in hindsight, very mad, because I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh had been talking to him for an unknown amount of time. And I think he got exactly what he wanted. I think he put himself in a very clever position where he was either going to get exactly what he wanted in Toronto or exactly what he wanted in Pittsburgh, and he got it. Either way, he gets exactly what he wants. So, good for him. He goes and gets exactly what he wants. The second thing is you go back and watch that press conference, he's trading Marner. Like, Marner has a full no move right now. But during that press conference, he's trading Marner. He's talking about potentially breaking up the core 4. You know he's not trading Austin. He could have traded Willie. I don't think he was gonna. Maybe. You would have got a lot from, but you're a team that's up against the cap, so you need value contracts, and Willie still had a year left of a wicked value contract. So then it comes down to Tavares and Mitch. Who has more value? Exactly. It's Mitch. He was going to trade Mitch, man. I would bet money on it. But I would also need a time machine. And for him to not get fired. So I don't think I'm going to be able to make that bet. And I'm not asking for the Leafs to trade Mitch, dude. How the hell do you do that? First of all, he has to waive his no move, and then you have to, how do you do that? I think it's near impossible, especially mid-season. The easiest solution here is Mitch and Austin. Kill it! Be the killers out there that we all know they can be. But they're playing swaggerless, joyless hockey right now. And I love the fire. I love the fire, and the frustration is good. You know, it shows they care in case there was any question. Like, they're not lackadaisical and lazy, and it's not fair to say they didn't try. But they're fighting it tooth and nail with both hands right now, and neither guy is able to get it done. And if Mitch is the setup man for Austin, and Austin's not being a puck hog, he's letting Mitch do that. If Mitch is not going, that top line's toast. But to that end, Austin, you're going to be the highest paid player in the National Hockey League next year. You're going to make world beater money. You're going to make Superman undisputed champion money. Like nothing till the third? Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Brad Treliving, just going to say, Leafs have 3 home games this week. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You got a couple days off. It's that time. Whatever you got cooking. Whatever. Dude, just shut up and kiss with Zadorov. Like, the agent literally tweeted he's coming here. Just make it happen. Tell Craig Conroy to stop having bottom 5 owners in the entire NHL and just get it done. Oof. Oof! Listen, do me a favor to make me feel better. You can subscribe to this channel. That'd be great. Also, subscribe to SDPN. We're almost at 100,000. Make a lot of hockey content there. If you like my screaming face, it's there. Check it out on YouTube. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. They can make a trade. They can make a trade. Might be fun. But the core of this team has to look at themselves and ask them, what kind of players do they want to be? What kind of leaders do they want to be? What kind of legacy do they want to leave behind? Because this ain't working.